Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Copeland, the dating coach who makes finding love after 50 fun and easy. My website is findaqualityman.com. And I want to welcome you today to the You Can Find Love After 50 show on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. Today, we're going to talk about where to find men. I have so many women say to me, Lisa, there are no good men out there. And I look at them and I say, yes, there really are. You just are not seeing them or you don't know where to find them. And they say, okay, but I don't want to go online. And I say, that's fine too. Let me show you exactly where you can find men. They're everywhere. So the first place we're going to start with this is with what I call your dating fairy godmothers. Dating fairy godmothers are the people that you can go out and find. They're people you know and enlist them to start looking for single people for you. So how do you do this? Write a list of everyone you know, friends, your kids, your parents, your associates at work, any meetup groups that you've made friends with people. Go out there and write a list of all these people. Then go to these people and say to them, I would love to find someone to share my life with. Do you know of anyone? Now, the biggest mistake that women make is they do this one time. And you have to understand, people have really busy lives and they forget. So you need to come back to these people and you need to say, I just wanted to remind you I'm still single. If you know anyone, can you let them know that I'm available? This keeps you on their radar. I had a friend, she was in a singing group with all these older women. And it was really cool. She went to them. She said, I want to find love in my life. And these older women got busy and started looking at their sons for her or anyone they'd heard of that was their kids' age for her because they were all in their 80s and 90s. They could have been her parent. And what ended up happening is they did find a man for her. And today, they're happily married. She and this man she was fixed up with are happily married. So you can do it this way. You really have to put it out there. She was a great networker. She told anybody and everybody, I'm looking for someone. Can you help me? And that is how you have to be in dating anyway. You must be persistent. Whatever it is that you choose to do to find love, the guy's not going to drop out of the sky at your doorstep. I know that would be fantastic. We would all love that. But you have to really work the system, whatever the system is that you choose. Now, I know another woman that was fixed up. She was playing tennis with this girl who was talking to her husband and said, I'm playing tennis with this friend and she's a widow. Who can we think of? Let's just sit down and think of someone. And they did, and they got married. Oftentimes fix-ups work because your friends can see certain traits in both of you, and they have the ability to say, hey, I think this will be a good fit. Now, it doesn't always work. I had a friend fix me up back in the day when I was dating, and I had a nice lunch with the guy. I got to meet someone new and interesting, and this is a theme I always talk about. Meeting someone new and interesting. That's the only way you want to go on a date. Because if you go on a date to become a Mrs. So-and-so, you're sitting there on a date doing your resume checkoff list in your head, and you could miss a perfect guy for you because you didn't give him a chance. So this guy and I went on this lunch date. It didn't work out, but we had a really nice lunch. I got to know someone new and interesting, like I said. We parted ways. I saw him around town from time to time. I'd wave hi, he'd wave hi, and we moved on from there. He found someone else, I found someone else. But it's always worth going when someone wants to fix you up because you learn a little bit more about yourself on every date and a little bit more about what men are right for you on every date. So let's talk about the second way that you can find a match for you, and that is through a matchmaker. Now, I've worked with clients, we've worked together at the same time they're with a matchmaker. Here's my opinion about a matchmaker. I feel a matchmaker is doable, but you still need to understand men. You still need to have a clear vision of what you want. Now, oftentimes our clear vision of what we want is our type, and our type is not necessarily the right type for you. It's usually the person you just left in different clothes, different hair, a different job, because that person feels really comfortable to us. So we date that same person over and over and over again. And when we go into a room and we see 100 people, 99 could be perfect for us, but we choose that one that felt so good to us and who has the same attributes as our last relationship, probably our last 5 relationships. We gravitate towards that person because we feel the most comfortable with them. One of the things I have my clients make is what's called a patterns chart. I give them all these qualities to look at of the past men they dated, and they come up with the warning signs of what it is that they really need to stay away from, because their highest chemistry level is with someone that feels familiar to them. I have clients say to me, I went on a date, the guy was so nice, I felt no chemistry. Probably didn't, because what happens is they don't feel the same as those people we dated in the past. And once you figure out what your patterns are, you'll often find it's from family of origin, that you're working out an issue from your family of origin, but you're doing it in relationships. So you really want to create those warning signs. And I help women with this all the time. And if this is something you're interested in doing, contact me at findaqualityman.com and we'll set up a time to talk about working together on this. This is a major foundation piece that my clients get huge aha moments from, where they can see why they're dating the person they're dating and what's going wrong. I actually had a client say to me yesterday, I'm like embarrassed that I couldn't see this before, and that really I dated the same guy over and over again. Yes, but what I said to her was, you need to forgive yourself. Now that you're aware, you need to watch who you're dating and to change out of that pattern. And by the way, the pattern of that man, because he feels so comfortable to you, and a new guy who doesn't have that pattern feels uncomfortable, it's easy to miss the right man for you. Okay, so back to matchmakers. I think matchmakers, once you have this clear vision, which includes your warning signs, qualities you want in a man, your deal breakers, also the values the two of you share and how you want to feel around a man. It's all part of what I call a quality man template. Once you have this in place, a matchmaker is great, because a matchmaker has access to people that you might not have access to online, because there's a lot of people that don't want to go online, or they don't want their picture online, so they hire a matchmaker. Now, can they fix you up? Yes. But I was talking with a colleague of mine who's a matchmaker, and I asked him, what do you find your biggest challenges with fixing men and women up? And he said to me, they want really specific things that they think are going to make them happy, and they pass up someone that I think would be a good match. I said, okay, like what? He said, for a lot of women, it's height. They want a guy who's 5'9", 6 feet, 6'1", when they're maybe 5'2", 5'3", or 5'4". And they pass the guy up who would be their height, or maybe 5'5" or 5'6", because in their head, they can only be with a man who's 6 feet. So I have seen this happen too. And when I'm working on that quality man template with my clients, I'll say to them, are you sure you want to pass up a good guy over an inch of height? And they'll say to me, all right, I'll take it off my deal breaker list, because I have people who have height as a deal breaker. The biggest thing this matchmaker said to me, his best piece of advice for women and men, was to stay open to the possibilities. I've often found a lot of people date as if they're going through a Wendy's drive-thru and they're going in asking for their hamburger with cheese, onion, lettuce, pickle, whatever it is. I see men and women write profiles that say, I want a tall guy who's a professional, who can take me on vacations, who can take me out to great restaurants. I want to share something with you. Just because he's tall, wealthy, handsome, whatever, doesn't mean you're going to be happy with him. You really do want to share the same values with someone to ultimately be happy with them. So if you want to go to a matchmaker, understand that they will have possibilities for you. Get clear on who you're looking for that will really make you happy. Get into the core of that, and then go for it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's always a possibility for you. Now, the next way we're going to talk about, the third way, is meeting people in real life. I think this is one of the hardest ways to meet people because a lot of us did not date when we were younger. We didn't flirt. We didn't go to bars. Kids today, our children, go to bars all the time or went to bars if they're married now. They were used to that. We sort of met our mate in college or when we came out of school and we were at work. We kind of fell into relationships more than dating. Yes, there were some people that met their mate at a bar, but most of us didn't. So we didn't really learn how to flirt. And by falling into a relationship, we also didn't learn how to flirt. Oftentimes we became friends and then it progressed. We found we had a heart connection or that chemistry connection and it went somewhere from there. But going out and flirting wasn't how we met someone. Today, it is a way to meet someone. And you need to have some good flirting skills in place if you're going to get out there and you're going to meet people in real life. So how do you begin flirting? The best way to begin is start making eye contact with men. Smile, make eye contact. Hold that eye contact for maybe 5 seconds. That is going to feel like a lifetime for you. I guarantee it. 5 seconds is hard, but it does signal a guy that you are interested in him. Our parents' age, they flirted. They didn't have online dating. They were fixed up or they flirted in real life. One of the ways they did it was by dropping a handkerchief. One of my favorite I Love Lucy shows is where Lucy gets herself all dolled up in a wig and pretends to be someone else. And she plays a trick on Ricky. But you can see her outside this shop. She's holding a handkerchief. Ricky walks by. She drops the handkerchief. This is how women used to signal men. It was the way that they would say, I'm interested. If you're interested, pick up my handkerchief and talk to me. If the guy was interested, he did that. If he wasn't interested, he picked up the handkerchief and he said, here's your handkerchief and moved on. So the key to flirting or to meeting a guy in real life is you have to signal him. So when you go into a bar, you can sit at the bar with a friend. You don't want to take more than one friend when you're going into a bar because a man feels really intimidated trying to cross through a group of women. It's very hard for him. But if you have just the two of you at a bar, he can come up to you. So let's say you see a man across the bar. You look up at him, make eye contact, smile for about 3 to 5 seconds. Go back get a sip of your drink, look down into your drink and take a sip, or look at your friend and talk for about 10 seconds. Look back up at the guy again, make eye contact and smile. You've just signaled him you're interested in him. And then turn around and go back to talking to your friend. If he comes over, great. If he doesn't, that's okay too. One of the biggest fears that women have, and men too, about meeting people in real life is this fear of rejection. So it's really important when you're out there, that you don't get attached to outcome. Now, I'm going to talk about how not to get attached in a minute. I wanted to remind you, though, that you're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network. I'm Lisa Copeland, the dating coach who makes finding love after 50 fun and easy. And we're talking on the You Can Find Love After 50 show. And I'm glad you're here. And we're going to go back to meeting men in real life and not getting caught up in outcome. Anytime you flirt, see it as the opportunity to practice your skills. A great way to flirt also is to just talk to a guy next to you. You laugh, you can touch his hand. That's a big flirting thing, is touch. Not a long touch that feels creepy, but you can just touch the guy's arm. You can touch his upper arm, his hand, anything. This is a way of flirting and saying, I think you're great. You smile, you laugh. A friend and I were at a bar, and the two of us were sitting at the end of the bar, and the bar made, I guess you would call it perpendicular, where the guy was like right around the corner from us. My friend loved going to bars. I was in a relationship at the time, a different relationship, and I'm now in a very wonderful relationship. I've been for quite a while, but this was back in the day. And she loved going to bars and talking to men. She had no problems doing that. She had created relationships doing that. And she would go by herself and just sit and have a drink and talk. And you can do that too. Go to an upscale restaurant. It's safe and it's easy. So she looks over at him and she says to him, "What is in that salad you're eating? It looks so good." Well, that began about an hour conversation between the three of us. And we talked for a while, and my friend left, and I began talking to this guy. I moved over a seat because she had been closer to him. And I was in a relationship, so I wasn't paying attention. And this was before I was a dating coach and knew what to do. So I want to share this with you because we don't pay attention to men flirting with us. So the first words out of his mouth when my friend leaves were, "Oh, I was so much more attracted to you than your friend." And I wanted to hide under the table. I'm like, but I'm in a relationship. So what he was saying was, "I'm interested in you. Tell me if you're interested in me." He was playing that game of testing the waters to see if it was safe to ask me out at some point. But I didn't play with him. But then a little while later, he says to me, I would date women in other cities. He was signaling me there too, because he actually had come from New York. He was working near this restaurant and staying at a hotel that was next door to the restaurant. Well, I didn't pick up on that either. Where he was saying to me was, I'm okay with a relationship with someone I don't live in the same city with. Would you be? We need to watch and pay attention to men's signals that they're giving us. Listen to his words and think, is he asking me something? You have to literally take a breath. Before I knew what I was doing with flirting and dating, like I said, I missed it. Also, when you go into a room, look around to see who looks at you. I used to go with a friend. I would go visit her and we'd walk into a store and she would say, those men are looking at you. And I was oblivious to it. So one of the things we have to do is get our radar back on for who's paying attention to us. And when they are, you look at them, smile. You can also walk past them, do the same thing, turn around and smile again too. And especially if you're going to the ladies' room and you pass these guys at a bar that you seem interested in, you can go, you guys look like you're having a lot of fun. Make eye contact though with the guy that interests you. Then start to walk away, turn around, make eye contact again, smile, go to the ladies' room, come back, and make that eye contact again and smile and say again something like, wow, you're still having fun. Can I join you? Or still having fun? Then walk back to your seat. Either way. If they're interested, they'll come. If they're not, that's okay. So some people say to me, how do I find out if someone is married or not? Of course, the obvious way is look at their finger and see if they have a ring. But you could laughingly say something like, what's a handsome guy like you doing still being single? Or what's a handsome guy like you? Tell me, you have to be married. So that's how you play it. You don't straight out say, are you married? You do it fun-wise. So if he's single, he can say, sure. If he's married, he can say, yeah, I'm taken. And a lot of times married guys will tell you that. They'll say it. But you still got to have fun flirting. Okay, so there are men everywhere you look. I happen to have a free report on my website. You can go to findaqualityman.com, and the free report is called The 5 Little Known Secrets for Finding Quality Men After 50. I share with you a lot of places for finding men, and really there are way more than you think of. Most of us live in a very narrow little amount of space, maybe a 5-mile radius. Even in that 5-mile radius, there's more places than you can think of. And beyond it, there's even more. Anywhere you are, even in an elevator, there are single men that you can flirt with. So the key is to start looking around and start talking to everyone. Talk to the guy in Starbucks. Say something like, oh, I've never gotten that drink before. What's in it? Do you like it? Or go to a bar, sit at the bar, and a guy next to you has a glass of wine that's red, and you can say, I love red wine. What is that you're drinking? Or I've never tried red wine. But that really is such a pretty color. Can you suggest a really good red wine to get started with? Men love helping women. If you can make a man your hero in some way, that makes you even more attractive to him. All right, so we talked about some places to find men: restaurants, bars, dog parks, elevators, airports, Starbucks. You can talk to a man even if you're getting an x-ray done. In the x-ray office, they're everywhere. Go to my site at findaqualityman.com and pick up that report, 5 Little Known Secrets for Finding Quality Men, and just start talking to men everywhere you are. By the way, I had a client. She was in a group program of mine, and she said to me, Lisa, I am not going to date online. I don't care what you tell me. I'm not going to do it. I went, that's no problem. You just have to get proficient at flirting. And we worked on flirting. So she loved motorcycles and she had to get her license renewed. And she went to the license bureau. She takes her number and she looks around the room and sees a guy sitting off by himself that looks kind of cute to her. So she sits down next to him. And she says, I'm waiting to get my motorcycle license renewed. And he says, me too. And that began the talk together. And now these two are married. I know of other people that in the grocery store, they have met from standing over the produce and they've gotten married. You can meet men everywhere. So make a list of all the places you think you can meet men and go out there and start talking to them. All right, the 4th place to meet men is really obvious: online. The reason I'm such a proponent of online dating is you're exposed to way more men than you could be in your own social circle or in the places that you visit. They might not visit. They might live right outside your radius. The problem with online dating is it's very one-dimensional. So what does that mean? It means all you're seeing is a picture of a person, and you're not seeing who a person really is. So a guy online, you might pass him up based on this picture, but you might meet the guy in real life, and you might go, wow, this is a great guy, because you got to know his personality. So remember when I said the matchmaker said, open your mind up? I want you to do that online too. If a guy looks nice or seems nice or kind of cute, read his profile. If he seems interesting, favor him. Men look at who favors them, and he can write you. You don't want to miss good guys just based on a picture. I'll give you another tip about online dating. The most handsome people on there get 5 bazillion emails. And because they're so handsome, oftentimes they're pretty narcissistic because they know it. Or they're out in the candy store. They're looking at this online dating as the candy store, and they go through a lot of women. My high school boyfriend and I reconnected on the phone a couple years ago, and he is really quite handsome. So handsome that women hand him their phone numbers while he's with another woman. I mean, it's really obnoxious. But anyway, he would go online, everybody would write him, and he would just start going through women because he knew, because he was so handsome, that he could get anything he wanted. So what you want to do, start looking for the guy who's maybe not as handsome. He's kind of cute. He seems nice. There's a nice background going on in the picture. It's not a selfie. It's a nice background. He has a really nice profile. Favor him. Because I'll tell you, in the long run, he's going to be the guy that's going to be there for you. My high school boyfriend, he was not there. He was the ultimate bad boy. Women loved him his whole life, and he was the ultimate bad boy. And when he got bored, he just moved on. Find the guy who's going to be stable for you. You can still find chemistry with him. And at this time in our lives, we're not making babies, and that's what that chemistry is from. It's an old DNA thing within us about finding a mate who is very fit and strong, and we can make strong children with. That was great in your 20s and 30s. Today, you want a really good man who's going to be there to support you in your days that are good and in the days you need a strong shoulder to lean on, because it's not such a great day. As we age, we still like the way our partner looks, but none of us looks like we did in our 20s and 30s. We still look good. And by the way, don't go online and say, oh my God, I only see my grandfather there. Let me tell you a story. Back when it was my 30 or 35th high school reunion, I looked at pictures online. I don't live in the town I grew up in, so I hadn't seen these people in 30 some odd years. And there they were. And I thought, oh my God, they all look so old. So I dragged my son to my computer and I go, how old do you think these people are? He said, about 45 to 50. And I said, do I look that old? We have this perception that we look very young because people tell us, oh, you still look in your 40s, or oh, you look so young. And we do. We do. We don't dress like our grandparents did. We don't look that way. But we are still aging. So you go online and you see grandpa. He isn't grandpa. He's just a man in his 50s. And I got to tell you, men come online and often say the same thing. Although I think women take really good care of themselves and we color our hair, so it really helps a lot. And we'll be covering more about online dating in future shows because I want to share with you exactly how to find men. But I wanted to share this is a really good way to meet your next mate. If you want to learn more about online dating, I have a great book that talks about that quality man template I talked about earlier. It also talks about how to be successful at online dating. And you can find that book on Amazon. It is The Winning Dating Formula for Women Over 50. And it's by me, Lisa Copeland. Again, that's The Winning Dating Formula for Women Over 50. And I wanted to be doing in the near future a Dear Lisa show. So if you have questions about over 50s dating, I'd love if you'd write me at lisa@findaqualityman. Ask me your question. I will not use your last name, or if you want me to use a different first name, be sure to write that. But send it to me. Send me your question because I'm going to do a whole show, a whole Dear Lisa show, where you can get some answers to your most important questions and challenges about dating over 50. And again, you can write to me at lisa@findaqualityman.com and make sure to write in your subject line that it's a Dear Lisa for your radio show. So I want to thank you for being here. We're going to keep covering lots of topics as we share our time together. And you can find love after 50. I did. A lot of my clients do. And I'm going to show you how here, and you can also go to my website at findequalityman.com and you can learn more there too. So you've been listening to the You Can Find Love After 50 show on WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network. I look forward to talking to you next time. Lots of hugs and love to you.